Okay guys, we're going to talk a little bit about closed guard, and when we've got the closed guard, especially when we're first starting, just try to break their posture, guys. There's a couple of things that people do that make it a little bit harder, especially when you just first start training. You're starting to pull that lapel, using a lot of energy, and you're not getting anywhere. So we're going to talk about how we can use our hips and our knees and using their body against them a little bit. So first thing I'm going to do is hop into closed guard, guys. I'll go on the side, just here. So when we're here, guys, I'll just move back just a touch here. So when we're here, guys, the idea of the closed guard now is that my legs are not too low, and I can walk my legs up as high as I like as long as I start to break the posture. Okay, so in this position, I wouldn't bring my legs up too high just yet because I haven't really got anything here that I can sort of break him down with. At the moment, Jaffo's posture is quite good. His head's up and he's got a nice grip on my gi and a grip on my belt. Okay, so when we're first learning, or when we first start to go into the club, we could tend to start to make the mistakes of trying to use too much strength in this position for no reason. Okay, so for example, a lot of people first when they come in, they start to use a lot of power through their legs and they lock their legs really tight and almost like they're flexing their legs. But it makes no difference if I have my legs just locked and let my weight hang, okay, or if I flex my legs. The only difference is going to be is my legs are going to burn out really quickly and he's going to be able to pass or open my guard much easier. So make sure that you're just relaxed, that your hips are close to their hips. Okay, you don't want to have your hips too far out. Now I'm putting extra pressure on my toes. I can already feel like my toes are starting to get sore and they want to open on their own. So hips close to the hips, nice and relaxed, just so that your legs are inside of your knees and your thighs and your calves just hanging on their hips. Okay. The next thing that we do is we want to be able to start to break the posture down so we can start to work our way around to the back or start to bring our legs a little higher to learn how to attack or to start to work on getting some sweeps. Okay. So the first thing is what happens when you've just started jiu-jitsu. Your teacher will come to you and say, hey, break the posture, and you're going to grab cross grip, or you might grab here and try to pull them down. Okay. Normally you guys will grab a cross grip and try and pull as hard as they can down, but really Jaffo, he just has to use a minimal amount of strength and just use a nice post here and here, and it's going to be hard for me to pull him down. Okay, so you see a lot of this for beginners here or here, trying to pull them down. Okay, so why is this not working? One, Jaffo has some nice braces here. Okay, he's controlling my back. All right, he's controlling my chest, which is controlling my back to the ground. Second thing is he has a nice good structure in his body at the moment. He's got a good base underneath him. His body is straight up and down, okay, and his head's up to the ceiling. So really he's making a nice pyramid shape here, and it's going to be very difficult for me to just pull that pyramid over on top of me, okay? So the top of the pyramid is usually smaller than the base, so that means it's going to be hard for me to topple him over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to compromise his base a little bit, his posts here a little bit. Now see, his arm is nice and strong here, nice and strong here. I'm going to get under his elbows and start to roll his elbows out. I'm going to hold under his elbows and roll them out, okay, making like a circle shape. All right, so here, roll them out. You could do that by holding the gi, but I prefer just to make a C grip around the elbow and then just turn the elbows out like this. All right, and it doesn't have to be a dramatic movement. It can be very subtle. All right, just a little kick. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is drive my hip to the floor a little bit. You can already see that by driving my hip down to the floor, it's going to change the angle of my legs. Okay, the direction that my legs can bend. Remember, a good principle to go by in jiu-jitsu when using the guard is that the direction of my hips dictates the direction that my legs will go in. So my hips are going to drive down and I'm going to rock my knees towards my shoulders. Okay, so no more pulling here. I'm going to open up the elbows, drive my hips down, and like I'm going to put my knees underneath his armpits and then rock him forward. Be careful not to bring your partner so he doesn't headbutt you, you're going to slightly bring him to the side so his head's going to land to one side. Okay, so open the elbows, push down, bring the knees forward, over the top. As he comes over, you're going to break the posture, bring your hand around his head. The other hand is going to go under his arm, and you're going to make a nice little grip here, like a gator grip here. Okay, keep your head up next to his head. So you see now my knees are brought up. I'm bringing him on top of me here. I'm putting his weight all into my chest here. And then we can work to the next part of where we want to go. So, one, grab, open, knees. So I change my angle of my hip, push down slightly, bringing the knees up and over on top. Catch him over the top. Look, hands go together. And I'm going to punch straight down to his back, into my chest here, keeping my head close to his head. Okay, I'll just change direction so you guys can see here. So we're here. Open the arms out. Drive the hip, change the angle of the knees are coming forward, come over the top, arm comes underneath. Stab, punch, and keep him nice and tight here, head close. Go again on the other side. So you really pay attention to the hips, guys. So when I'm here, even if I open his arms, I try to just bring my knees up now. It could be hard to bring him forward. So I like to drive my hip down to the ground, my tailbone down. So as soon as I go here, ball, almost like I'm collapsing my core into my spine here. So warm and forward. You see how I compromise his base a lot here. Look. Now once I've got him rocking forward, I'm compromising his base, he's coming forward over his center of gravity. Now I can break his posture quite easily. So here, drop, open, knees forward, come keep him down, arm comes over the top, and I can keep him quite close here. I can walk my legs up a little tighter here, and keep him really tight here. Okay guys, so we're going to continue on from this position in the next video. We're going to start to look at what we can do after we've broken the posture here.